Hey Facebook, it is Melissa Mackey here. I am so excited to be bringing you Travel Talk. Now, if you've never tuned in before, Travel Talk, what the heck is it? Travel Talk is where I host special guests who are top influencers in travel, who are tour operators, and most importantly, what I'm like so thrilled about over the next several episodes is interviewing amazing, fierce female entrepreneurs. So today I have a very special guest. Her name is Tasha, and Tasha I was connected to with a group that I belong to. I had paid attention to kind of what she was doing in her space, and she is all about money and teaching like women and entrepreneurs how to make more money, keep more money, and do more amazing things in the world. And so I'm super thrilled. I'm just going to see if, okay, let's see if she is going to be joining us today. So, what I really loved about Tasha is that she has this essence and this energy that is very calm, very relaxed, and she is like a fierce female entrepreneur who is just crushing it in her space. She travels the world. She really has a brand where people recognize her. And so I am thrilled. I'm going to see if she is jumping on. Okay, I'm not sure if there is an issue with what is happening. So, travel talk. Let's talk about travel. Let's talk about how travel really inspires transformation. You know, the very first trip that I took was to Thailand, like the big kind of international trip that I took. And Thailand, I was there, gosh, for probably about a month. And it was actually the year that they had that incredible tsunami. Now, I had just finished school. I just got my degree in finance and I was excited to see the world. I was like naive. I didn't really know anything about travel, but I trusted in the process. Let's see. I trusted in the process. And what I believe is that so many people's eyes are opened when, oh, you're here. Good. So I was just completing my thought for all the viewers and listeners. So travel, when I took that very first trip to Thailand back in, gosh, I don't even know, 2004, it really opened my eyes to a whole new world. And I believe that all of us can be inspired through all of these interviews of these top influencers, these fierce female entrepreneurs, and top tour operators to inspire you to take action in your life, whatever that looks like. Okay, so we have Tasha who is here. Hi, Tasha.
Hello, how are you, Melissa?
I'm good. So I was sharing with the guests a little bit earlier before you came on just how we connected, and I was sharing how I met you in Sammy Blindell's group. I had watched some sort of, I don't even know if it was a video that you did, and I was sharing with everyone that I just loved what you were all about, and you're clearly crushing it in your space. So without further ado, I want to thank social media for connecting us. And how about you share with everybody who's watching now and for all the replay people, who are you and what are you up to in the world?
Oh my gosh, hello everyone. And first, I have a thank you for you that you don't even know is coming your way because I know you met me, but I technically never really met you till you invited me to do this. And so I kind of checked you out, saw what you were about, and all of my travel little, desires popped open. And I went back. There's something you probably don't know about me, but my journey began with a business called Mother and Daughter Trips. And
Get
yeah,
out.
and talk about synchronicity. I mean, wait until you hear this. So today is my daughter's second day at college. She left home yesterday. And when she was 6 years old, I was running a franchise business. She was five, actually. I was running a franchise business, like really, really working super hard. As a mom, like non-existent. You know, she was being cared for by someone. I had this big business I was doing, and I was crushing that then too, and thinking it was success until I came home one night and found my little baby girl in the pantry. And it dawned on me that I had been seeing sugar like on the floor in the pantry for a couple nights. And here I was yet again, late coming home. Both of us happened to be in the kitchen. And I said to her, have you been eating sugar? And she turned and she looked at me and she said, yes, Mom, I have. And I was startled. I mean, sugar is like one of those things you just have, like you have flour, sugar, salt, like
Yeah.
you just have it, you know, but nobody uses it. So for her to tell me she was eating sugar really shocked me. And I said, well, why have you been eating sugar? And she said, she just looked over at me with her little eyes, 5 years old, and said, I don't know, Mommy. I miss you. I'm bored.
Ah.
And Melissa, that was the moment, like done, over, selling the business, getting out of it. I don't know how I'm going to shift my life, but I realized in that moment that my definition of success till that point was totally off the mark, because all the reasons that you go into business, right, especially as a mom, you go into business, one of my big reasons was to create time with my kids and a legacy and all of that good stuff, and none of it was happening. So that year, that moment, I made the decision I was getting out of that business and I needed to redefine success. But that Christmas, for her Christmas gift, I took her on her very first mother and daughter trip. And we went to New York City. And it gets better. I decided when I realized that the one thing she said when she opened her Christmas present was, because I had a little baby too, her brother. And she said to me, is this just going to be me and you, Mommy? No daddy, no baby. And I said, yep, just me and you. And she was so excited. And when we came back from the trip, she had this entire 4 or 5 days with just her and I. We did everything you can do in New York. She had such a great time. I made a promise to myself that this was going to be my gift to her, was time with me. Every Christmas, she was going to get this trip. And so my big, big vision was that she would go to college someday and she would have in her room these photo books that I had made of all of our trips. And until you did this invitation and you know, I looked you up and I realized what you did, I was like, wait a minute, those books she packed and she's gone and she doesn't have them. So my big dream, like, it's crazy that we're on here right now at this time, because I got to pull these out and I'm heading to see her tomorrow already. I know I'm kind of crazy. But I'm bringing her photo books of all the trips that we've taken. And so that's kind of just really touching. And thank you for showing up to
Wow.
remind me of this, one of my dreams coming true right now. And yeah, so that's kind of really
Oh,
cool.
like it almost just brings tears to my eyes
Oh,
because I just shot a video yesterday and it was a little bit, well, actually, it wasn't really related to travel, but just having that little one and being that like fierce business owner and how busy it gets. And it's like at the end of the day, all of these little beings and kids, no matter what age they are, like all they want is even 5 minutes of that uninterrupted time. And it makes like that small little time block that you can put in for those things that matter most in your life makes the world of a difference.
yes, 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 yes. And I know that it has. And you know, it's kind of interesting because I did not this did not turn out to be my thing, the mother and daughter trips. Oh, the other part of this is, so having done it for her, all the other moms, her friends' moms were like, that's so cool. We want to do that too. Can you plan a trip? And so the entrepreneur in me, the business was born, you know, and I had a website and a Facebook page, and it was amazing times. It was good stuff, and definitely got me started on a different entrepreneurial path. And that's a whole other story I'll have to tell some other time, that it didn't necessarily work out, but the gift that it gave me was that it led me to the path that I am now on, right?
Yeah.
So everything works out for good. And so back to answering your question about who am I, what do I do? I am obviously a mom. I love to travel. Anyone that's my friend watching me on Facebook knows I just came back from 9 weeks of the entire summer, traveling all over the world, doing what I love. And the reason I love travel is that for me, I encourage everybody to find their thing that makes them feel open and expansive. And for me, traveling, being on top of a mountain, being in nature anywhere is my thing. So knowing that that's my thing, I don't only plan time to work, I plan time to be open and expansive and dream and connected. And this year I had the gift of materializing my dream of being able to do it for 9 weeks, which was incredible. And so what I do is I want every single entrepreneur, mother, father, husband, wife, whatever it is, as long as you're an entrepreneur, to be able to live that dream too. Whatever it is that your dream is, the very reason you went into taking this risk we call owning our own business, the reason you did it is, I know 98 to 99% of you did it so you could have time freedom, financial freedom, and just live lives that make you happy. And as busy as we get in the doing of this stuff to make our businesses successful, I don't think there's enough conversation around this part, you know, working on ourselves and working on maximizing the internal power that we all have to create results in our lives. And so that's the mission that I've taken up, is I'm building an empire for entrepreneurs that are passionate about financial freedom, so that the reason we all did this is so that we can have a fun life. We can experience the things that I truly believe we deserve and desire, which is freedom.
So how about we back this up? Who the heck are you? Like, what is your name?
You haven't even, we never even got to that. I thought, my name is Tasha Chen. I am the owner, co-founder of a business called the Science of Getting Rich Academy. I've been doing that for 5 years now. And as I said before, you know, the people that I serve are really anyone with a dream, but I really focus on entrepreneurs.
Cool. So number one, I'm really glad that you took the time out to be with us today, because I know as a business owner, you're super busy. Number two, you've already answered. I have like 5 questions that I really love asking entrepreneurs about, so that they can offer wisdom and insight into helping others along their journey. So you've already answered two of the questions. Who are you? What do you do? And the other one you answered already in the seamlessly conversation that we've been having is, do you think travel is important? You've already answered that. That's a no-brainer. You've already shared that. So the other question I have is, being a mom, being a business owner, and balancing this whole idea of balancing. I mean, how long have you been an entrepreneur for?
Oh my goodness, a long time. I would say a total of maybe 16 or 17 years now, a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that amount of time, I'm sure you've experienced extreme highs, extreme lows, like tons of challenges and tons of struggles. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you've had throughout your journey, and how did you get through it?
Well, I think there's probably a tie for that. And I love when I get asked these questions. I always have a tie, by the way. For those of you thinking of interviewing me, I'm always going to have a tie. There's always 2 things. The first one would be that moment when I saw my daughter eating sugar. You know, that was a big, it was an awareness for me that I had been in pursuit of success. And yes, I had achieved it. I had won all kinds of awards. I had done great things. I made tons of money. As you know, on paper as an entrepreneur, I was crushing it for real. And yet at home with the things that mattered the most, I realized in that moment that I was actually failing, and failing more than anything. I was failing myself, because that was not my dream. That was not the way I wanted to succeed. And you know, so coming to the awareness, I say everybody has those moments. And one of my dear friends always refers to the tin cup, I think is the name of the movie, where he says, you know, when you have a defining moment, it will either define you or you will define it. The trick is to recognize that you are in a defining moment. And at that point, that night with my daughter, I believe I defined the moment. I made the choice that I really needed to redefine success. I really needed to ask Tasha, what does success look like for me? And then I went about creating a life that was centered around that kind of success, which was being able to be there for my family, being able to be there for my kids, to make money in a way that made me feel happy and fulfilled, to serve others, to be able to travel, to have time. You know, I defined success on my terms, and then I went about living it. So that's the number one thing. The other thing I think a lot of people might be challenged by in this world of being an entrepreneur is um, getting to the place where you believe as a person that you deserve with every fiber of your being. You deserve to be successful. You deserve to be abundant. You deserve to experience all of life's, you know, things that make you feel the fullest. And it's different for all of us. But first we have to believe that we deserve it. And so one of my challenges with that was when I first started in this business, not believing that I deserved those things, not believing that I was worthy of, you know, I was worthy of being successful even. And so what I found was happening for me was that because I didn't believe I deserve it, the challenge that started to happen was it was difficult to achieve success, right? So here I am working my buns off, trying to start this business, trying to get going, trying to do all these incredible things, but actually working against myself because internally there's this disconnect that says, but I don't really believe I deserve all of this. and and the moment where when you're operating from that place and you put yourself and your services out there and you realize that, you know, people are mirroring back to you what you believe, and it doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel amazing. That again, you're in a defining moment, and you're either going to take a stand for yourself and what you believe you're worth and you deserve, or you're going to allow others to dictate that for you. And so I would say that the biggest challenge is really looking at where you are and asking yourself, am I operating from a belief that says I truly deserve success, I truly deserve, you know, abundance and all the things that I set out to accomplish in this life and in being an entrepreneur.
And you know, I just in hearing you say that, I remember watching one of your videos where you were talking about that dress when you went in to go buy that dress, and it was like a super high price tag, and you were just like, wait, because you know what? All of these fierce entrepreneurs out there who are, you know, making a difference in the world, we still experience these challenges. I mean,
Yes.
that example you gave the other day about this dress, you know, the dress was a high price tag, and you know, first your brain went to, oh gosh, I definitely shouldn't buy that dress because the price tag is too high. But wait a second, how about I dig deeper here and find out what's really going on? Wait, I fucking deserve this dress. And you know what? I'm going to own it. And guess what the natural result from that was? You shared that all these people were like, wow, you look like beautiful and gorgeous. You,
Oh, there you are.
you got to believe in yourself. You have to have that strong foundation in order to manifest what it is that you want in your life, in order to help you get through those challenging and difficult situations in life. And so So thank you for sharing that. Um, one of the other questions that I think is really important to share is how in your 16 or 17-year journey have you been able to balance life, business, babies, self-care, and that dedicated time only for yourself to not be doing everything else in the world. Like what did you how did you balance it?
That's a great question. And another one of my mentors once said, they don't believe in balance. They don't believe, they don't believe. And I think that's kind of a myth that we all pursue this balance. Like at some point you're going to be balancing, over here at soccer, over here at ballet, and crushing it in business. And oh, by the way, you just meditated and you're reading a great book, and like you're doing it all like this, like I don't know about you, but I gave up on that a long time ago. So,
So I should reword it, not balance, but how were you able to be in flow?
yeah. So here's the thing. I think, the thing that is probably the first point in answering that is each person has to decide what's the most important thing for you. And so it's kind of like baking a cake, right? And if you put too much flour in, so if you're like over here just with the kids all the time and showing up at everything and sitting with them, and you're just totally 100% all flour in your cake mixture, like something else is going to not go so well, right? And then if you're just meditating all the time and that's your eggs and you're putting like 10 eggs in and you're constantly all day long, then the kids aren't not gonna get your time, and it's all just gonna go crazy. So the trick is to really be honest with yourself. And so for me, here it is. I have to have time to connect. I must. Like, I'm not going to be a good mom, a good business owner, a good inspiration to anybody. I'm not going to be happy with Tasha if I don't make time every day to connect. And for me, that's journaling, meditating, getting quiet, expressing gratitude. Those are the things that make up connecting for me. So I have to kind of put that in place as my foundation first. And that just allows me to be cool, calm, collected, get through all the
Grounded.
rest of it. Yeah. So that goes first. And then, it's obviously those that I love, my kids. Kind of back up. I think this is a really great piece of advice for everyone watching, but really especially for moms and wives. When I got divorced, one of the things that I had to do is we had to go to a parenting class. And the lady said at the start of the class, "Why do you think you're here?" And it was interesting because, we were actually the only couple in the room. Everybody else was kind of there on their own, but we were there together, my ex-husband and I. And she asked, "Why do you think you're here?" And she put 4 things on the board. And she said, "Rate the order in which you live these things right now." And it was your business or your career, your kids, your children, and your relationship, right? And so everybody, most people, number 1 was their kids, number 2 was business, number 3 was their relationship, and last was them. And she goes, "And that's why you're here. That's why you're in this room." And I'll never forget it. So here's the formula: you first, right? You have to be able to put you being happy, you being fulfilled, you being the best you comes first. And I live by that. And then the second thing is your relationship. And that can be your relationship with God, your relationship with your spouse if you're married. Believe it or not, that does come before kids, right? So your relationships, your children, and then last is your work. And for me, that was one of the best gifts I ever got, because it's just really easy to live by that, put it in order versus trying to balance it. So I just go, like, for example, in September, I have to go to the UK. I have to go back. So my one daughter is at college, and right now my son and I are at home. And so this morning we're having a conversation, and I said, "Son, I'm going to need your support. In September, I'm going to have to go to the UK to do this event." And he said, "Well, Mom, I don't really have a choice, do I?" And I said, well, it's not that, it's not about do you have a choice? It's about us being in support of each other. So, you know,
Mhm.
you need me sometimes to not work so much so I can come to your games and I can come to school when you have things. And right now I need your support so I can, you know, go to this event in the UK, right? So that's more for me what balance looks like, is putting yourself first and then everybody kind of playing together, you know, so it all works. There you go. For a minute there, you were gone.
Yeah, I know. It's like the lighting just switched on me. So you know what I love about that is it reminds me of Dr. John Demartini in what he teaches. He teaches all about values and determining like what
Mm.
is your highest set of values. And it frustrates me when I hear parents say, "Oh, my kids come first." Because it's like, honestly, you need to come first, but it's like society has programmed and conditioned us to think, oh, you are selfish if you're thinking about you first. But it's
You
like
first.
when you're really tuned in, tapped in, and like turned on, you know that you must become number one first before anything
Absolutely.
else. So I love
Absolutely.
that. So the last question I have is, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received? Like that one thing that just sticks in your mind, and what is the one piece of advice that you can offer other entrepreneurs, primarily for this conversation, females?
Okay. So the answer is the same for both. And the piece of advice for me that has stuck out was, believe it or not, I got the chance, another dream come true, to go see Oprah live a few years ago. And I waited all weekend to hear what's a life-changing thing she's going to say that's going to be, because I just know I'm going to get it, you know? And finally, the moment came where she said these words: you get what you believe, not what you for. And especially, it's so deep. It might take a few days, but here's what it did for me. In that moment, I realized I teach this stuff, I live it. And in some areas of my life, there were many things that I was wishing for, but not believing. And if you want to look at the areas of your life that things are not working out the way you would like them to, and you feel like you're doing all the work, you're doing all the right things, I guarantee you, you're wishing for it, but you don't believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be it, is really go into my advice to you is really, please say it again. It froze on my end. Absolutely. Absolutely, Jamie. You get what you believe, not what you wish for. So deep. And
Oh,
so,
it's like giving hairs on
yeah,
my
I
head.
mean, it still does that to me too. It's been 4 or 5 years, but you know, so that's the thing, is my advice is really look at the things, the areas of your life or the things in your business that you're trying to create, the results that you're trying to have, manifest, achieve, whatever words you use. And if it's not happening, really ask yourself honestly, am I wishing for this? Or do I really believe that I can have it and I will have it and it must come to be? And I promise you, if it's not, it's a belief thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. I am so grateful that you came here with us today. This will obviously be up on Facebook, and then we're also posting this video on to YouTube. But there's one really special thing. Don't you have like an event, some free sort of challenge, the money challenge? Aren't you offering a
Yes,
money challenge?
I am. Thank you, Melissa, for reminding me of that. So yes. So again, back to what I'm passionate about, right? Which is helping entrepreneurs create financial freedom. Those of you that are passionate about that, like I am, I would love to invite you to my 5-day free money attraction challenge. This is going to be our third one that we're doing. And let me just tell you some of the stuff that happens. Mortgages get paid off. Like thousands, yeah, in 5 7 days, like crazy things get happen, because what this challenge is all about is rewiring your programming around your relationship with money. And all the business stuff that you're doing is wonderful, but if you're disconnected in your relationship with money, it just isn't going to flow. So I want to invite everyone watching the video to make sure to register for this 5-day challenge, the moneyattractionchallenge.com. I'm going to repeat it. I talk a little fast when I get excited. So I'm going to repeat it again and go a little slow. Moneyattractionchallenge.com is a URL for you to register, get in on this event, because I promise you it's going to do a lot of redefining how you relate to money and therefore how you attract it. And like I said, what you believe truly about money. So it starts August 27th. You want to make sure you're registered for that. Come play with us. Come have fun. 5 days of just amping up your vibration around money.
Beautiful. And once we're done this live, Tasha, if you can just put that link in the comments below for people, that would be awesome.
I absolutely will. I will.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for sharing. And I just love your story about your travel experience with your mother-daughter trips. What synchronicity.
I know. It's like, thank you, really, honestly. When I show up tomorrow with you, she's going to be like, Mom, how did you remember? I'll be sure to give you a plug, Melissa.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Tasha.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.